Hello, welcome to Koselig Café. I'm Nina Kozłowska.
And I'm Dariella Scavino. In today's episode, we're gonna share how we made friends here in Norway. How we create new bonds, what makes us feel happy and satisfied in terms of our social life, right?
That's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very spontaneous this time. We're gonna share a lot of personal stories. So Dariella, tell me about your friends in Norway.
My friends in Norway. Okay. I moved 4.5 years ago. And I was living in Lillestrøm, which is one train stop from Oslo. So the first friends that I made was through Facebook groups. There are many groups of Argentinos in Norway, Latinas, Latin women in Norway. And I just wrote, hello, I'm here. Does anyone want to go for a coffee? And immediately I got 5 messages. Same week we went to have a coffee. And from that meeting, I still I'm connected with them, especially to one that I went to visit recently, the day we met. And then I said, well, that's so cool. I will do it again. I wrote another post. Hey, next week we are going to meet in the library in Oslo that it has a terrace and a cafe. Okay, I'm coming. We were 15.
Wow. But then one question here. That was all Latina girls?
Yes.
And was that your... so you came to Norway and your first need to meet more people was to meet specifically other Latinas? Or...
No. I used to go out to a coffee. It's not easy to make friends in a new place if it's not by joining a club, a course, a gym, or Facebook. And on Facebook, all the groups that exist are of foreigners. There are groups of local people, but the one that was not for friends in Lillestrøm. The ones that I knew in Oslo were expats, and it was in English. So, and it was, I saw the interaction because you also need to see what people is posting and which are the answers. And there was not much of a real activity, but maybe
I think
some
that
complaining.
This group is so big that it's less engaged maybe. Then people don't respond to all of these messages and posts about meeting other expats and stuff because it's already such a big group. So maybe finding your niche, like Latina girls, was easier.
Yeah, was
and
easier.
You feel like one of them.
Yeah, because we understand each other. But my first idea of making friends in Norway was never of making only with the foreigners. The opposite. I thought I will make local friends. But so I went to different yoga schools, say maybe something, but nothing really came up. And less than a year later, I moved to Horten, and in Horten I started Norwegian in the school. So I made foreigner friends there. But I was pregnant, so I was talking with the people in the Kommune, also starting my business. I started my business the same year. And I was expecting to know more Norwegian people. And they said, yeah, in the Barselgruppe, when your baby is born, you will make more people. Okay. Then came the Barselgruppe. And there was no one really engaging into it. I invited them home a couple of times, but I never received the same invitation from them. And after a few messages, I didn't insist it. But I have one friend from there, which is Sami. And then because of Sami, I met you.
Yeah, that's our common friend.
Yes, our common friend. Yes. And what about you, Nina?
But one more question, or I have a lot, but one of them is you have a Norwegian husband. So did you met any friends of him, or like girlfriends of friends, or something?
He has friends far in the Bergen area, another one in near Tromsø, because he's from the north and he studied in Trondheim, and he moved to Lillestrøm in 2016. And he doesn't have many friends. He's not a very social person that is gonna look around. Oh, I'm new friends. No. He's fine. He's working. He goes home. He has his friends from forever that sometimes come, like on summer. They come and they go on the way to Kristiansand or their cabin. Then they come and I meet them and the wife, but we don't live close by. So, no, I didn't make friends from his side.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I can see that it's so much easier here to meet people when you have a purpose. So when you, as you said, join some kind of a club, maybe sports club, or maybe like me, I met all of my friends. I met through some activities involving kids. So if I didn't have a small child at that time, I wouldn't go to these places and meet these amazing people, including you, because I would be just a creepy lady with no baby on baby shank or something. So I think that was my start in Norway was really good, and I met a lot of people at the beginning, and we became friends. We were meeting with kids, and there was this really good time to make these friendships, and we were also going through the same stuff with kids, so we would share a lot of these concerns and stories and support each other. So that was really great. But yeah, like right now in Oslo, I, for example, go to this yoga studio. And I was also thinking, oh, but when I became a member of this studio and go a lot, I probably will meet some like-minded people. I wasn't thinking if it's Norwegians or expat, that doesn't really matter as long as they are wonderful people. And people who practice yoga, they are usually very nice. And we are like-minded. But actually, everyone comes there and it's so quiet, and people would just change in the changing room and go practice and go home and just like, hi, hade, and that's it. So no one is actually talking in this changing room, no one is like, oh, hey, how are you? Like, not a word. I feel even weird coming and saying hi, and people are like, yeah, hi.
Yeah.
So that is for example, that is really surprising to me, because I thought, I don't know, I'm just these people. Maybe our listeners realize already that I like to talk. So this is very natural to me. Even if I wait for a class, I don't know, 3 minutes, I would like to talk, because silence is very weird to me when I'm surrounded by people. But then I come to the studio and I see that some people are already preparing for practice, like maybe chilling, sitting. You can see they are like very focused on the inside. So I don't want to bother them. So I just do that also. Yeah.
Yes, it's not easy to make friends, really. If we have to say how is to make local friends, but it's not that easy. And it's my experience also, and the people that I have met. And I'm going to go back to the first story of the Facebook group. When I posted, 15 people was excited to have a plan. And these women that came, they were living 15 years in Norway, 10 years in Norway, 7 years in Norway, or 4 or 2 or 1. They're from all times. And when I talked to them, okay, you have friends? And say, so much. Like, you came here, I posted, and you came and it's and we're talking and we're having fun. How is that? And they said, Dariella, you have just arrived. Just give it some time. It's not so easy to make friends here.
It's like, you'll see.
So I can
Oh my God.
And I have to say that after all this time, I can understand. Like, it's not that Norwegians are bad people and they don't like you. No, it's just that they have friends, and they have friends from the school, the university time, and that's it. Then they move on in life. They go to work and they have the family, and they are not like having the first step or the initiative to make friends. I have experienced before. Like when I moved to Peru, I was 22. Okay, it was another phase of my life, but I was so looking forward to make friends, and I make a lot. And everybody was excited to welcome a foreigner who was coming from Argentina. And let's make friends. And it was not like that immediate. It took me 2 years to live in Peru and said, oh, now I have so many friends, so many plans, and I'm loving my social life. Here in Norway, it's been slower, and the same as Nina. It has a lot to do with having a child and making friends like I made with her, or in the Norwegian courses that I met also people that like me was arriving and was new, and they have also that in common. And we understand each other in that sense that, okay, we feel lonely if we don't have friends. And we need to build this sense of community in this new home for us.
I feel that it's also very, very common to befriend people who come who have the same background. So I also already have one friend who lives in Lillestrøm. In fact, and she's Polish. We now attend one startup business course together, and it's very nice. We share very similar story of our experiences in Norway, even in some very private things that from just our private lives, some experiences that we had. So we really connected. But also when I started we met at some workshops, and when I started to chat with her, I didn't even know she's Polish because she changed her name. She used some name that is more international, let's say. So I didn't know she's actually Polish, but I don't know. I just needed to ask her some questions, and we started to talk, and I said, I'm from Poland. And she said, hey, girl, I'm from Poland too. So, but that's also kind of important, even though I like living in Norway, and also I want to be friends with everyone. I didn't have a plan for it. So it wasn't a plan like I will come to Norway and befriend only Norwegian friends or, some other backgrounds. But then it turned out that it's actually very vital to me to have Polish friends also. I mean, in Oslo, my sister lives too, so I always have this Polish contacts or relationships anyway. But that's also very nice to kind of, that you see the world with kind of the same cultural perspective as the person who has a similar background to you. So you kind of can, I don't know, complain about the stuff that you dislike in Norway, in like comparing to what you knew before or what you like. But also together you can also appreciate the things that you really like, because also for some reasons we moved out from Poland, and we can also find what we really like it here and share it.
Yeah, and it's also nice to speak your mother tongue. When I speak Spanish,
true.
I'm so happy I can really express myself. Sometimes I miss. Of course, I don't miss it that much because I speak with my daughter Spanish. But speaking in your own language, it's also nice sometimes. with friends. Now, recently I heard a podcast. Well, Mel Robbins was sharing 3 things that you need as adults to consider someone a friend. And it was very curious and made me think so much about friendship, because the past years I was looking forward to have a social life here that I would feel happy with.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard the 3 things, I thought, okay, this is interesting, because now I can show also afterwards how I see my social life and this closeness and connection with other people. The first things you need is proximity. So who is nearby by distance? So when we are younger, we are probably sharing a room in an apartment with some friends, and you spend a lot of time. Or at school, you are all morning or even more with friends. At university, the same, working together, studying together. And there is a study. Sorry?
Partying together.
Yes, a lot. So you're day and night with these people, having fun and connecting. And she shared a study that also said that you need to be around a person 70 hours to consider that person a casual friend. And you need 200 hours to consider that person a close friend. So how much do we need to be near someone? And now we have a different routine. Like we are in a new city, we are far from our friends, and we need to spend 200 hours to make it a new friend. And we are in a phase of motherhood. So yeah, through motherhood, we have met again. Yeah, it could take years to have a close friendship. And then the second thing you need is sharing that time together, right? And the third thing is the phase of life. So what timing? Like, are we in the same timeline? Like between us, there is 12 years difference. But we started motherhood at the same time. So we share that phase, and that made us connect much more and bond so much more, because who else wanna listen to our diaper and poo and child food stories all the time, but ourselves? And was so engaging to us, no? Well, that's to be an example. So you may spend a lot of time and closeness with colleagues at work if you work in an office, but maybe you're not in the same life phase. Maybe they are older and they go to the Hita to fish, or maybe they are younger and are partying. So you won't see them in the weekends. You only see them in this working environment. So those 3 things made me think a lot. And I went back to something that I left behind before moving here. And it's something that lately I'm coming back, and I'm calling my old friends. When I moved here, I was hoping to have this new community and put my attention on getting friends here, on knowing my neighbors, learning a little of the language and everything, and have friends here. But with whom I spent 200 hours, and we know so much. And now we have technology. And what before I thought I'm not a good virtual friend, like just call sometime. But actually, every time I call a friend, that is a real friend. They are living in Argentina, they are living in Peru, they are living in Spain. We have time differences, but when we find, it's amazing, because it's actually like it's not the same in person, but it's that connection is there. There are some friendships that are really, really important, that even if you move to a new place, you cannot just say, no, because it's there. It's actually, sometimes if you feel lonely, if you're not connecting to people in your place, you can have a video chat, and you don't need to even say, I'm calling you at this time. Not just call, really. If it's not available, we'll call you back. But I really like that now into my social life satisfaction, it is included video calls and international calls with my friends.
That's exactly, I had that point also I wanted to talk about today. That one thing is making new friends, but in Norway or wherever you move away. But the second thing is maintaining your friendships that you had maybe through whole life. I also have lots of friends in Poland. Whenever I visit, of course, I visit quite often, few times a year. I meet with everyone, and that's very important. But also this communication. Meanwhile, as you said, yeah, totally, I agree. And I also call to my best friend, Milena.
I know her. I know
Yes.
Milena.
And who lives in Zakopane, and she's also a mother of a child in more or less the same age as Felix. So we not only share this, I don't know, 20 years of friendship, but also the motherhood challenges in the same time. So that is really amazing. And yeah, we also try to call like whatever. If we can't pick up, we just don't, and then we try again, because with kids and work and stuff, you never know. So we also just try like that. And sometimes when it seems that for days we can't really catch each other on the phone, one day you just try, and it's like, oh, I suddenly have 15 minutes because I'm driving somewhere, so we can talk on the speaker. And and you get this satisfaction of the long relationship, because I don't need to tell. Sometimes I need 5 or 10 minutes with her, because I don't need to tell her the whole backstory of something, and she already knows so much about me that I just say one sentence and she knows, and she just say, yeah, I get it. And that's what you need. Sometimes you only need this understanding, like real understanding.
Yes. Oh, that's so nice. You end up happy with a smile. It changes the mood of the day, not to connect to a friend. So I think it's important that when we move out, we are very flexible. We need to be flexible. We cannot expect the same friendships. Like we're going to do 10 millennials now here in Norway. No, no, it's going to be like that. It's going to be something different. And being away from home, it's necessarily going to be meeting new people combined with the digitalization and traveling. So you can feel happy about your social life. But it's not going to be the same as before. But you have to be proactive. And my friend Nina here, she's a master of proactiveness in making friends. That's why we became friends, because she was the one creating the group in the open Barnehage. It was called Barnehage Mafia. And we would meet outside the open Barnehage with the children. And we are, looking forward, because it was that phase where children were not yet in the Barnehage. So we needed activities. So nobody wanted to be all day with a child at home. Although you have made a super playground, no, you wanted to see those things outside with other children and other parents with you can share I didn't sleep like that. Me neither.
Yeah. Whenever I would host parents at my house, I would make this huge pot of coffee because everyone was like, yes, please, like zombies. Oh, amazing time.
Yeah,
but we bonded.
Nice.
We bonded for life, probably, like with all of this, with our crew. That was really nice, and I think that was also the case for a small town as Horten. That we didn't have to live in the same part of the city, because the town is so small that like everyone knows each other. Some people knew each other from work, from like the one biggest workplace in Horten that everyone knows, but and yeah, that was really something. So I really appreciate that in this time of my life I happened to be in Horten. And then as Felix grew and we grew as a couple and as adults, we enjoyed moving to Oslo to have more opportunities. But I really enjoyed this small town vibe for this period in life. As you said, timing is everything in relationships. Yeah.
Yes.
And also, just to come back to my friend Milena, we met last year. Yeah, we meet once a year. We go meet somewhere, just the two of us. So we leave kids with fathers, and we go away for a few days to catch up. And this is really meaningful. And these 3 days can give you so much more, it's really amazing. And we already done it twice. Of course, it's easy because we both live in Europe. So it's so much easier. Last time we met in Milan. So that was, it was funny because we were like, oh, if one of us has to fly anyway, either to Poland or to Norway, and we don't want to spend time with kids, we just want to be alone, like really connect, let's go somewhere else. We've never both been to Milan. She speaks Italian, so I could get this more, I don't know, felt like a local experience. So also, even if you move out, it's still important to work on these relationships, either to call or even to meet. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the friendship.
Yes, but it needs to make sense for you. Yes. Yeah. No, I listen.
But coming back to friends, in Norway, I would also say that nowadays I feel it's also like meeting, for me, it's meeting parents of kids that Felix is befriending in kindergarten. So this is a bit funny because it's like we want the kids to be friends. So because of that, we meet for play dates outside of kindergarten. And it's kind of like he is choosing my friends. Of course, we're not like very connected at that time, but maybe if the boys will be friends in the next 20 years, maybe we will become very close friends. And that is also interesting aspects, like I haven't chosen these particular people, yeah.
That's so funny. Now you say it, yes, it's true. I also, Lara has her besties. With one, she was doing swimming outside Vietnam, so that was fine. But with the others, I don't know the parents. And we don't are at the same time picking up and stuff. But it depends a lot of us mothers to have the proactiveness there too, to talk to them so your kids can engage in that conversation. And we all live nearby here, of course.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, that is the best also because we also, as a lot of kids from kindergarten live just in the area. So then to meet them outside kindergarten, you just need like 2 minutes walking. So that's another perk of these relationships. But generally, but because maybe we should also talk about making friends other than through kids for people who don't have kids. And I think when I moved to Oslo, I researched some groups, some meetings, and oh my God, it is a lot of groups. So I think it's not a problem in Oslo. Of course, it's the quantity, not quality. Like the quality you have to find on your own. And it's because, a few times I went for some meetings. I started the conversation like, oh, hey, I'm Nina. I'm new in Oslo. I look for friends in this and that. And we exchange numbers and something. But then you also need to be proactive and put some energy into actually creating these relationships. So I think in Oslo, it's easy to get in touch with other internationals. Like, it's not a problem that you don't speak Norwegian and stuff. And not only internationals, because maybe you go to some other meetings or like, I don't know, knitting group or whatever, or some sports and stuff. So there's a lot of activities, a lot of programs, workshops, I don't know, really lots of stuff in the city. But still, you need to make this effort to maintain these relationships that are fresh, right? This is the actual work on like, I like this person, but to get to know this person, maybe to have some, I don't know, adventure together, like a trip or something, then it takes some time. And I think this experience might really differ to people who are single and who are meeting other friends as couples, and to families, because naturally, as when you have kids, you seek other families, and also then you can do the same activities, like let's meet in the park or playground or something. And of course, as just single adults, you would do something different that I'm not sure I remember what that was.
I don't remember. There was a glass of wine sometime. Yeah, it was at night. Could be music, concert. Yes. Well, I live in Horten, so I created this group, expat in Horten, Holmestrand, and Tonsberg. So, because we are nearby. So, there haven't been that much activities, honestly. But I have met many, many times with some people from Holmestrand. Here and there we go. That's nice, because slowly you start building that connection, and with sound, also network at the same time. There's no one or the other. Like one, I like dancing salsa and I want to go to salsa, and then she connects me to something, or we exchange our stories as foreigners. And as someone I read recently, when you live in a smaller place, the upside is that you know so many people that if you're looking for a job, then you have sort of reference. They know you. They have seen you. They have seen you around. They know you're not. They're not a completely stranger. So yeah. But today was about friendship. Was about feeling that you have a social life that you are happy with.
Yes. Are we wrapping this up?
Yes. First, be flexible and proactive. You have to take the first step many times, almost 100 times. You have to be the one calling and asking and starting the conversation. If you're talking with Norwegians or foreigners, the same. If you want to hang out with other people, you need to go out. You need to reach out and look for the connection.
I would say that even though it is maybe stereotype that Norwegians are, it's like a cold culture and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that every person is like that. When I met my brother-in-law, he was the most friendly person I've met. Like, we've just met, and he hugged me very closely. I was like, is he really from Nordic country? So of course, like talk to Norwegians. They don't bite. They are very nice. At least they will politely tell you. Maybe they will politely refuse to meet, but the world is not gonna end. So for sure, try, and probably it will help to have some typical Norwegian activities, like we talked in the winter episode about sports, or I don't know, if you meet and there are communities that meet together and stuff like that. So for sure you can also befriend some other Norwegian. Yeah, so I would say be open and a bit courageous in approaching people with open mind.
Yes, and I also would like to share that people in Norway is different in different places. So actually, there's a big difference between someone that lives in Oslo versus Bergen versus Helgeland versus Tromsø area. I'm gonna share my family-in-law, where my husband comes from. They do something that I heard that in Oslo nobody does it, or the other places nobody does it, and they know each other for many years. They have their children, and now they are retired, but it has always been that they go to friend's house without telling them they're coming, without announcing themselves. Just arrive to the house and say, "Well, how are you?" And there is always coffee in a Norwegian house, always. So wherever you are, it's also different how social interaction is. Like I have a friend in Oslo that told me that whenever she wants to have an appointment, she has Norwegian friends. They have to coordinate sometimes a month in advance. It's like, what? We come from, she's from Spain, but in that we are in common in Peru or Argentina, that sometimes you talk to someone and you meet the same day or tomorrow. Like there is no anticipation to coordinate. So yeah, new rules, but also, again, be flexible. And going back to what we share and the story of Milena. Hi, Milena. Embrace digitalization and go back to your friends. Call, reach back. Don't cut the cords because you moved to another country, because friendship is something you have nurtured over time, and are connections that it's like family. It's a family you choose. And sometimes when you move to a country, you think, I have to start from an a white page. And not necessary.
And in some of our next episodes, we have a plan to talk also about family and family relations in Norway and as expats. So that's something you can look forward to. And thank you so much for today. Thank you for listening. We are, of course, on YouTube, on Spotify, and reach out to us on Instagram at Koselig Café Podcast. Yeah. Thank you.
Ha det bra.
Ha det bra.